taking a because again I'll look at what we have right here. Let's just mark a break structure right here. We have had a break structure of this uptrend that we have had since with the start of the month. And taking a look at the hard time frame, this is a POI, this is a short setup that I talked about. I'm pretty sure in multiple streams, in multiple daily outlook videos that I've done. This is the short setup that I have shared multiple times. Honestly, the first TP on this is right here, and the second is supposed to be somewhere around 53 to 52k. Now, this setup is something that I have talked about in the last Monday session, in the last Thursday, and I think like a week even before that as well. And that was just the idea for the people that did not join any of those sessions. Let me delete the chart here and give you an idea of what I talked about real quick. Okay, clearing the chart out here so everybody can keep up with what I was explaining in the last sessions. And that is, if you take a look at the hard time frame real quick and mark out the value area of the range that we are in so far, you can even extend it all the way to the current market prices. And if you take a look at it, the value area low is right around here. The value area high is right around here. And we need to sort of flip the POC level for prices to go way, way higher. And the reason why we need the POC flip to be a trigger now is because we have lower highs in structure that are sitting right around here. And we have taken SFP of these lows. We have done a break structure as well, which should have turned it into bullish. But you have to understand this is just a lower time frame trend. So if we are like doing a higher time frame trend, most of the times for price to like go make a lower high, it has to trend up. So all we did was just create that lower high trend up. That is the lower time frame bullish structure that we had all the way back into this FVG. Because if you take a look at these POIs right here, this is the only FVG that sits right with us as an extreme and is going to likely mark a lower high in structure, right? This is exactly what we talked about in the last week's session that we had as well. So if you guys want to look for shorts, just look for shorts once we have broken down this low, and you can just sort of short the market low, and then will go much lower. If you don't get a trigger, what you're gonna do is you're gonna wait for this structure to form, and then we're gonna take short right around where the third lower high is marked. And whenever we get a break structure or just before a break structure, you can go and short your trade with your stops just at the prior high low, lower high, and then we'll aim for our first TPs to be the first extreme FVG that we have that is sitting right around here, because we could come here and we could form a low, and then from that low we could sort of form a 3-tap setup on this structure. So that's something that is like pretty possible. Let me show you real quick. Right, so that's something that could happen most likely, and that's something that a lot of people should watch for. So a 3-tap setup. That is why our first TPs is most likely gonna be just this higher low structure that we could have. And even right now, it's going pretty well. This is a short setup that I've shared last week for all the people that are just joining. And we could form a lower high structure, and then based off of the lower high structure, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back to this FVG that we are forming now. And if you get rejection from there, then it's gonna just like send prices way, way lower, right? And below of all the way from just below 50k all the way down to 28k is all our buy section, right? From this level to this level, we're just gonna buy. We're gonna buy. We're gonna DCA. It don't matter. It goes till where it could return all the way to the highs from here. It can return all the way to the highs from here as well. But this is our buy section. We're gonna look for buys for the long term around these prices. Now, this is something that could most likely happen, and the only long trigger that I see at the moment is just again a reclaim and a break structure of the current lower highs that we have had. So if we do come back above this, let's just say we bounce off of this higher low right here, we hold this low and we hold another low, and then we get a slow grind back into the value area low that we have right here, extend it a little. And what's most likely going to happen is that we're going to break this high that we have, and then any sort of slow grind that gets formed here is going to be our long trigger. And that has actually been our long trigger for quite the longest while now. And that's something that I've shared since we got a rejection from here. We broke down here and we came around here and was like, guys, just wait for prices to form a slow grind structure. And a slow grind structure would look something like this. It could look like this. It could also look like this. It could also even look like this, something very grindish, very slow. And any sort of structure that looks like a slow grind, a frequent series of highs and lows, is where we are going to look for our trigger for longs, and we're going to extend it all the way to the value area high straight up, right? Now, that's the only trigger that we have for longs at the moment. Besides that, I mean, we could look for a long somewhere around here, but the trigger for this trade would honestly be once we hold a low. And the way we will actually hold a low, if I like show you how these triggers are formed, and even right now, like even right now, if we were to reverse from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna form this very specific pattern that would look like this. So prices are slowly trending down, right? They are forming this sort of structure. What's gonna happen is like usually they form a low and then they break the low and then they form an FVG or an order block, and prices like come back to these levels and then reject from here again, and then they form a series of lower highs, a high that is lower than the last high, right? And then they keep breaking lower. So this is just momentum, right? We're just going to be playing momentum, and until and unless the momentum starts to weak out, where it gets reject from the new freshly made POI, it comes back to the lows, but it bounces off of the opposite POI and it forms a low. Now this time around, the difference between the last structure and this one is that it hasn't broken down anymore. So there is weakness in sellers. And if we form this sort of structure right around the price here or around the low here, that is when we are going to look for triggers for long. We're gonna look for a long just where another low is gonna be held, or we can simply just wait for a break structure to happen, and then we can enter around the break structure and put our stops on the prior low, and then we are going to look for a retracement all the way back to the other extreme. That is exactly how we're going to look for triggers, right? It could be right around here, but the better POI would be around this extreme level right here, right? And similar for here, but this trigger right here would be just a continuation trigger, where what's happening is that it's like continuing the trend, and this is how the trend is forming, and then you can just sort of take a trade on the trend and let it run as much as we can all the way up to the value area higher. Now those are the triggers that I have for the trades on the lower time frame and the higher time frame at the moment. Let me delete a bunch of this real quick. We want to keep our charts clean, as much as clean, for better understanding. Any questions so far? If you have any questions so far, just type them in the chat and I'll be taking a look at them real quick. I'll go to the lower time frame real quick as well for everybody to see what sort of positionings that we could get. Now on the lower time frame, this is something that I was explaining real quick. I'm gonna draw out this range value that we have right here, and I'm gonna extend it all the way till here. Because we're trending at the moment, we're gonna go back to the because price is imbalanced at the moment, and the law of AMT says that prices when imbalanced, it's gonna go and look for a balance again, right? Now, what's gonna happen is like taking a look at the lower time frame right here, and honestly, this is a 5-minute chart. I'll go to the 15-second to explain it as well. Taking a look at the 5-minute chart real quick. Again, you can see there's multiple highs that are holding, and there is basically no break structure that has happened, and even this I would consider a high. And this is still forming. If it rejects from here, it's gonna go continue lower. Now, this is one FUG that we could fill, and we could come to the value area high, bounce a bit, but if we do not break the structural high that we have of the downtrend and we reject from whatever FEG that we make, we're going to go back and we're going to target this low here, because this is the extreme FEG. Now the reason why I always choose extremes most of the time is because extremes have a lot of positions trapped at one level. So let's just say this is an extreme bullish POI, and in the middle you also have a bullish POI, right? The one that is more preferred would be an extreme POI, and the reason for that is because a lot of the times there's a lot of like, let's just say there's just buys and sells in the market, right? These are the only two orders that exist in the market. Now what happens at an extreme POI is that there's a lot of buys that are holding this position, because they know if they like break this level, what's going to happen is it's going to do a break structure and it's going to shift the entire structure for the market, right? So their intent is to buy more around these levels to keep the structure intact. So that's one point. And for sells, sells are literally at the bottom here. So what they're trying to do is trying to like get out of their position. So if you want to get rid of a sell position, you give it back to the market, so that's a buyback, right? And what that does is also bounce the market. So these are like two things that happens at an extreme POI that aren't as strong of a reaction at a middle POI, right? And that's why we always tend to revert to a extreme POI. Now for confluences, we'll just use the value area low to be a confluence here, and that is where I'm gonna start looking for longs whenever we have the structure for buys that we are looking for. And that is it for the 15-minute as well. That's literally the update for the higher time frame and the lower time frame. And I'll explain to you guys what the microstructure looks like as well. Let me just zoom into the chart real quick. Any questions so far, guys? You can like to send me in the chat, and I'll take a look at the chat in 2 minutes real quick. Now taking a look at the lower time frame that we have, even let's just go to the 15-second time frame that we have. Right here, as you can see, this is just structure forming, and this we have formed like a very big FEG here, but this is also like microstructure. So if we like reject from here, and then if you form a structure here, and then if you get like a trade for a short setup here, do not be surprised. It's how like structures form. The only thing that's worrying me a little is that we have an FEG on the 5-minute chart somewhere around here, and that's something that we should not have had. Usually most of the time we always gonna look for the extreme PI only, and the extreme PI exists like lower around here. But now that we have a middle PY as well, what could happen is that it could get a little choppish around there. Buyers could try to tweak and get prices to run up, but most of the time they fail. They come back into a PY and then reject. But they do end up forming some sort of lows, but that low usually is just an initial reaction, and there is actually never follow up on that. That's what happens in the middle POI. So that's why I don't want to position in the middle anymore. My trade is for shorts are upright around here, and my invalidation is if prices come back around to these highs is where I'm going to exit out of my shorts, as we would be coming back into the value area low, and then we would again start to look for this low ground structure, and then we will look for a rotation to the POC, and then from the POC we want to see a flip of the POC, and then we want to see a rotation to the value area high. Now that's the update for now. Let me take a look at the chart real quick. Our friend said, are you expecting a sweep of the EDF low at around 45k? EDF low? Most likely to form a low here at 59.3k. Honestly, 45k it might be too much of a stretch. 45k for now, like within a week, would be too much of a stretch. Maybe we get to 45k by the end of the month or by next month. But to form like a bottom structure, I would definitely expect it to be anywhere from 48k all the way down to like 38k. Anywhere between that is like my buy zone. Like Whit said, we're gonna DCA every few weeks, every few months with our salaries, with our payments, with our payouts, and then we're gonna DCA all the way down till here. Honestly, if it goes even down to like 17k, which is likely not gonna happen, what's probably gonna happen is that it's not even gonna go further down to like 20k's, so don't even worry about it. Sam said, Shini, should I sell my family and start doing DCAing BDC? Honestly, I do recommend selling a lot of stuff to like start DCing BDC, because if this is the industry you're in, pretty much like devoting your time all of the time. Honestly, like I do recommend like having some sort of portfolio where you're investing long term into it as well, because you can't be like a crypto trader or a trader overall when you have pretty much nothing invested in the market. So if BDC is the only pair that you trade, I do recommend like sort of DCing into it, so you can at least tell people that okay, I'm in an industry where I actually invest into. Because I know a lot of people that like have been into this industry and they have never invested. They're just trading. They're just like scalping all the time. Yeah, and that's basically no risk, no worry. That's exactly what a lot of people are doing and have been doing for the longest while, as if I know. Like they're scalping all the time, but when you ask them if they're holding any BTC or Ethereum or any coin, they've never invested, and that's crazy. So you have to like have this very small portfolio. Like if you don't have the confidence to do so, and if you're afraid to do so, just take it on me, and I'll tell you guys to start DCing a little, and just buy spot. Don't buy leveraged at all. Just start buying spot little by little. For the risk that you can actually take. Let's just say BTC goes to zero within the next few years. You are willing to take that risk and then let that money go to zero. It's not gonna happen, but you would at least have some confidence that okay, Shini was also on this with me, and also that it's not going to zero, and it may take some time to like actually give you profits, but at least you will be able to recognize that you invest in the industry you spend 24 hours in. Because I know like a lot of people are very, very afraid of risking long term because they want instant money, they want quick money, and a lot of the times they don't get their results, or like they still have this idea that BDC, there is something that might happen to BDC or crypto or something like that. But if this is the industry you're devoting pretty much all of your time in, then you gotta have some balls and you gotta have to take that risk. If you don't take that risk, then you're not getting that RARI. Bron said, you're also looking at TPO besides candlestick volume profile. I am looking at TPO even right now as well. It's just I have to like share a different screen for that, which I'll do probably next stream. We'll go over some overflow in TPO. ATTR said, Chini, I'm short too. No level to be cautious before 59.5. Eventually, three taps. Honestly, the only level to be cautious before a 59.5 would be the middle FVG that I have shared right here. Honestly, let me just show you real quick. Let me delete what we have right here. Would just be this FVG. 59.5 is where? The 9.5 is right here. Yeah, so this level is just before this level, there is basically no support except for this. But even this one, what's most likely gonna happen is it's gonna get some initial bit catching right here, and then from there it's probably gonna like eventually get up nuking later on. But do be aware that we might be able to get a reversal from here. So what we do want to see that there is no follow up or continuation on the bid structure right here. That's all that we have to do right here, so you can relax about that as well. Just when it's breaking down into this POI, just set your alerts. Just set an alert here or here, and then what you can do is like look if it's like running back up, and then you can close your trade. Mint said, are you looking for inducements? I am actually looking for an inducement here, like a sweep into this low, into this FVG, and then bounce back here. If it doesn't like induce in one candle, it could hold for a little structure as well, but that is also somewhat inducement. That could be a broken swing point as well. Can you check CL? I will check CL. Let me check. I'll try to do a real quick look for Hype and Solana as well. This is the last structure that I posted. I'm not sure when I posted this. I think like before monthly open. This is the last stream that we had that we were going to like look for longs around Hype around here, which has been executing pretty well. I think prices were around here when we talked about it. It like pumped all the way to the POI, and then from there it has formed this structure that we were looking for, and now we're rejecting off fair. So if you guys want any update on Hype, honestly, I do see a rotation happening from this level to this, and then from there we're gonna get a little bouncy back up to the structure that we have at the moment. I can check gold as well. Just give me a second. This is the structure that I actually talked about in the last stream that I did like 2 weeks ago. I think probably because this structure is formed around like 25th June. Maybe I didn't do it on the Monday stream, because Monday stream is I do it for public people. I do it for everybody in the Discord. But for Thursday stream, I do it for the private paid people in the Discord. And I did a stream on Thursday. As you can see, the dates are Thursday right around here. And I was telling people that this is the round bottom structure that I tell a lot of people to just look for on gold. And whenever you see that, just long that, which had a pretty good reaction. This is a POI that I was looking for. And even after that, if it held the lows, it did an SFE, and this was a second TP that we were looking for. So that has like executed pretty well as well. For now, honestly, I do see a little retrace happening right around here. It could like bounce a little from within here and then go back to the low, but it's gonna go and rotate back up to 43,800s, or this inducement high that we have at least. Let me delete this right here. That's the structure for gold for now. It's something that I would actually be interested into trading as well. Can you check lit, please? I will check lit. Give me a second. I do have lit. I think this is what we had on lit last time, I think. We were just expecting it to. I think like it was Fran that asked lit about last Monday as well, and this is what we had, and we were expecting for last time as well. We were just expecting for another lower high right around here, and then for it to go higher, which is it's performing great. It's performing very well, honestly. Like for now, honestly, if you're in any sort of longs at the moment, what's gonna do is gonna like form this sort of structure. It's gonna chop out a lot of people, and then maybe break down a bit, and then it gonna run up back up. So there's something you gotta be aware of now, if you're trading lit at the moment. Kim said how to identify good low with footprint. A newly formed low is that is unlikely to be retested or swept in the short term. That is a very good question. Like when we're talking about a low to just like hold a low, like usually most of the time we wait for confirmation on the second low. But what if like prices are here and you want to like position on the first low? Like what sort of structure are you looking for when prices are around this low? And what do you really want to see here? Something that you want to see here first of all is that your prices are coming into some sort of bid imbalance. And what a bid imbalance is that there's a lot of bids sitting here on the footprints. And another thing you want to look for that it's a higher low on the market structure. Now, those are two pivots you want to look for. Now, after that, what you want to look for is that you have a lot of shorts. A lot of shorts, I'll just label that as an S. You do have a lot of shorts entering into the lows, but those shorts are getting absorbed by the bids that are sitting around this level. So that's something of a fade that you want to look for when you're talking about a low that's not going to be revisited at all. And right after these like shorts are trapped into the lows, you want to see some sort of bids catching up after the lows have been formed. That's a structure that you want to really look for, and especially those bids have to be in an FVG, so the next low can be held by those bids. And but once those bids have formed, we can sort of form a structure that will send prices much higher up. And there's a few more details to go into it, but I'll explain that later when I have order flow structure. I'll probably do an order flow stream next Monday. Honestly, like there's a lot of people that are just looking for details into order flow, so I'll just do that. AMC said, hello, hello, how are you doing, AMC? 20 to 40k range coming. 20 to 40k range, honestly, like that's exactly what we were looking for. So if you do get a breakdown, that's the worst case. And if you take a look at this chart here on the higher time frame, what it's doing is it's just rejecting below the value low. So that just means breakdown, right? Now, what's gonna happen is that whenever price like goes from balance, this is a balance, right? 6 months of balance, and whenever price escapes balance, it like goes lower and lower, and then it starts forming another balance, right? And that balance usually like ends up either breaking down lower or it ends up breaking much higher. But this balance right here is gonna like end up breaking higher again. So that's something that you can be definitely like assured of. Let me take a look at another question. Do you have a date for your free YouTube course? Actually, it should be out within this month, probably by the end of July. Honestly, I'm still recording it. It's probably gonna be like a few hours, probably 4 or 5 hours worth of like a free YouTube course that I'll be posting, and then I'll be pinning it to my YouTube and my Twitter as well. So you can like recommend your friends as well to look at that. Taking a look at the questions in the chat real quick. Let's short everything. Honestly, like if you have some more breakdown here, I don't mind not shorting everything. Deleting this. Let's go to the lower time frame real quick and see what's going on. I know a lot of people that are short at the moment, even like on even on the lows, even right around here. Even Oliver has it, Ryan has it as well. And my short is the short that I had executed and shared like last week. I'm still running it, and this structure right here, this is just microstructure right now, guys. You don't have to worry about it too much. What we are most likely going to do now, we have internal high. We're gonna come to this FEG. We're gonna probably like spike into it. We're gonna form some structure, and then we're gonna continue breaking down lower a bit. And that's what we're gonna do for the rest of that a day, and probably come into the FEG that we have right here. come here and then form a little low, and then form the same structure, go a little lower, and then take the high, and everybody's gonna think, okay, we're gonna reverse, and then we're probably not gonna reverse, and then we're gonna get back into the value area high, and then we're gonna execute lower. Now the only case scenario that's true for longs would be, and I'm not here to like catch bottoms or catch stops. The only good scenario here in terms of like reversals is that like for bulls is that if we are able to get momentum breaking pretty much every short PI that we have, like let's just say we have a very strong bullish momentum kick into this high, and then that's gonna be very bullish. And if you have another bullish momentum kicking into the middle of this FVG that we have right here, now first of all right around here, and second of all right into the middle of this FVG, it's gonna be like actually very bullish. And if we are able to form the structure, then the value area low that we have somewhere around here, any sort of structure or reclaim that happens right here is going to actually be a long trigger. So that's something that you have to look for. Whenever you're looking for a trigger into a trade or a reclaim, you want to see how the momentum was treated by the market just before that entry level is reached, right? Now the momentum by the market was treated pretty well. If you were like spiking with slow grinds, that means all of the sell side, everybody that was selling was pretty much just faded just before this trigger happened. So that's a good sign for the bulls. So you have to understand how the market treated your bias just before your entry trigger was performed, right? So that's a very little detail that I felt like you guys need to know as well. Oliver, CME open pump always there for shorting. Yes, so just the Monday open, yes. That's just Asians pumping the market. That's very common. That's very usual. And said on my chart we are already back inside range. Which range are we talking about? You may have a little different value setting. I am not sure why. Or you have actually. Let me see your profile real quick. Not sure. I'm gonna try drawing the same volume profile that you have right here. And honestly, mine is still right around here. Even if I like turn it a little lower. Yeah, my value area low is still right around here. You need to probably change your volume profile settings from to like 70% for the value area. Guys, am I lagging at the moment? Okay, okay. I have no idea what happened. I actually have no idea. That's good, that's good. Yeah, it's probably the Mossad they got me. Not sure what happened. Yeah, but anyways, well, let's go back to the chart. Hype. We're looking at hype. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. This is the child that doesn't get attention at home. Nobody cares about Ethereum anymore. But let's just give it some attention and take a look at it. Honestly, I actually don't mind Ethereum at all. I would recommend Ethereum to be a buy as well. Like that worst case that Ethereum can have, the worst case would be that it like breaks down into this structure right here. That's the worst case. Honestly, I don't see it breaking down much lower. It should just hold this low, and then it should just like run it back up to like 45K. This is like a very good trade. I don't see where downside to Ethereum is at all. Like if you draw like a 0.5 right here, we are way low into discount, right? If like it can actually go to like below 1K, the and that's honestly the worst case. But what's the upside to it? Like when you think about it, you can actually do one buy around here when like it's broken down a little. You can buy one buy around here, you can do one buy around here, and then you can buy the rest of your buys right around here. The worst case for Ethereum would be, the worst case would be like it comes below this low, it forms a range, it forms this range, and then from this range it's gonna go back around like 4Ks again, right? It's gonna go back and pop up to like 5Ks or even like 10Ks eventually. But that's something that you have to like look for. Honestly, if I'm to like give you guys a trade for Ethereum, this is a structure that I would just like blindly look for. Honestly, one entry would be right around here. I would just look for a 2 hour trade right here, and the second DCA I would do would be like right around here. Honestly, like what's the downside to this at all? Like, let me ask you guys, what is the downside to like buying it? The only downside would be honestly that it chops. It like chops for so long that you actually get tired of it. That's the downside to Ethereum. Like that's the worst case that could happen. The worst case isn't it going to zero at all, or it just losing its value. The worst case is that it's gonna spend a lot of time around these levels. That's it. But if you're taking a look for long-term gains, honestly, this is something that I would recommend you guys to get into. Um, You know, ATTR said, I'm short too, but scared it holds somewhere in lower time frame and in levels to watch. I'll give you levels to watch real quick, but this is the hard time frame that I am honestly looking for at the moment. Now let me go to the lower time frame real quick. Let's just actually go to the 30-minute chart to see what's going on. Now, so this is actually a very good short as well. We have a nice inducement on the structure. We have a nice extreme POI on the opposite side. We have a nice break structure as well. We have very nice highs forming, and this is just the start of compression. You know what could actually happen is that BTC could be nuking down lower, and Ethereum could just like be starting its compression, right? Because its compression has just started. There's just two highs and lows, right? It usually the compression has like a lot of highs and lows, so like usually 4 or 5 of them, right? And what's gonna happen is that it's gonna rotate here and it's gonna like form these highs, and then eventually like it's gonna form and it's gonna compress, and at one point it's gonna break to either side, right? Now that's probably going to be the worst case, or the worst case could be it breaks down. It breaks to, let's just say, 700 ranges. Let just keep that to be your second buy, right? This is a very long-term choice that you have to make, and there's something that if you don't have enough confidence or trust in the market, just take it on me. Just convince yourself that Shini convinced you into buying this, right? But you have to have these long-term portfolios built up around these levels, because if you don't, this is like very low into discount. Like a year down the line, 2 years out down the line, you're gonna be like, fuck, why didn't I buy around these levels? It was just right in front of me, right? So this is something that you have to like, what you gotta do from now, you're gonna have to start separating bits of your portfolio to the side. While the markets are down, while the markets are getting crushed into the discount, and you're gonna start DCAing around these levels. You're not gonna buy right around here. You're gonna buy when it's at a POI, or you're gonna buy when it is at your second buy level. That's what you're gonna start doing, and you're gonna do that with money that you can just put into these coins and then just forget about them like for years. That's something you will have to do. If you don't do that right now, it's something that you will have a lot of regret a few years later down the line, that okay, that area was right in front of my eyes and I just didn't buy it. I just didn't do it. And why did I do it? Because you probably were not confident enough to do so. Now that's some sort of convincing that you have to convince yourself into. But this is a market that you spend a lot of your time in. Even right now, it's been almost an hour that you're listening to me talking about the levels up and going up and down. So if you're spending and devoting so much of your time into such market, you have to be willing to take a risk in it, right? Now, taking a look at the lower time frame that we have right here, this is the POI that it's most likely going to bounce from ATTR. And what could happen is like we have formed this FEG. I would honestly like work, like, just expect it to form some sort of structure within here, and we have a middle like POI right here, just like BTC. Again, what middle POIs usually do is just like have this initial spark up momentum and move, but what happens afterwards is it usually doesn't get a follow up. But if it does get a follow up, you can just close your trade on that follow up. So that's very easy to observe as well. But the extreme POI is always preferred by us. Bro, should I join your Discord for the sake of signals? Usually I'm busy with the 9 to 5 for my job. Honestly, I do not recommend joining my Discord just for signals, even though I like share, not just me, everybody here that's from the pure premium Discord shares their trades all the time with everybody, and we have a channel, I have a channel of my own as well where I'm providing trades. What could happen is like you can definitely look to join, and when you have free time you can definitely look to learn. I do post daily outlooks and updates for the people all the time, so you can learn a lot from those. And I do share like trades in that as well, so that's pretty decent for you as well. Now this is the update for Ethereum, and yeah, now for BTC it's just grinding down. There is no change in structure at the moment. Kevin said, I have a question on BTC volume profile. Why use volume profile from start of Feb to now, not just from start of Feb to 13th April, where BTC started to trend? Let me just see. 13th of April is where. Start of Feb is right here, right? And 13th of April. The reason why I did not like yeah, cut my range around here is because prices even after escaping like came back into that one specific range that we had. So this is considered an entire range, because when you take a look at it without price, when you hide like everything, hide indicators, hide all, like you have to see this is where the range started, and we are very close to where the range is like started still. So that's, so we're pretty much just deviating around that mean level that we have, so that's still considered our range. It's not like the range started here and the prices are here now, so that's not really a trend. That's still into the range, and we are breaking the range now, so that's why like we are still pretty much close to like not breaking down the range, but even if I like get it back to where the range has like started to break down below the val, it's still like there's a big difference, but this PA is still very close to the value area low. Even if I like do like consider this to be the actual value, what's gonna happen is the triggers are pretty much the same. We are just gonna look for slow grind into this high and into this high, and that's where we're gonna look for actual long. So they basically, the idea is same. It's just a little bit of tweaking that you have to have based off of context. So context matters a lot. That's something that people have to understand, that fractals and price fractals especially, they're pretty much the same overall price every single time all around the world. It's just a context that needs to matter sometimes. If it's if the market is in a downtrend, or if the market is an uptrend, or if there's a news around price, if that fractal will execute or not because of the news. So you just need to add a little bit of context with the fractal that you're looking at. Yeah, and that's actually it for the update for now, guys. So there's no more updates for now. If you guys have any more charts for me to look at, you can do let me know, or any more things you want to discuss with me. You can always DM me anytime. I'm replying to DMs constantly these days, so your DMs will be on priority. And any doubts you have, you can just type it in the free chat or open a ticket for Soul. About Soul, my bad, I actually forgot about Soul. Let's just take a look at Soul real quick. Yeah, I did forget about Soul, but the thing is like it's looking exactly the same as the other pairs. It's just the difference is, let me just show you. We first of all go to the higher time frame, and we're gonna mark out what we have right around here, and I'm gonna show you what we have right here. First of all, we have this range. We're just gonna straight up mark this range, right? Now in this range, we're gonna mark our volume value area low. And as you can see, we just rejected off of the value area low. So that's very fucked up. Now that is very bad. So it's the same setup as Ethereum and BTC. But this time around, like we have an extreme POI as well. And in the middle, we have also a POI. So it's most likely gonna stop first at the middle POI and get a reaction, and then form a low, and then go back to the lower POI, and then from there we can go head higher. So that was a trade that I was going to talk about. The entry is a little bit late. I wanted to like share this entry like yesterday or before, but the entry is a little bit late, so that's why I didn't really talk about Soul much. But this is the update for Soul, and we are just going to be waiting for a reclaim back into the value area low. And honestly, a flip of this POC is just gonna send it all the way back up to like 95. Honestly, that's gonna be a long trigger that you're gonna look for with me on this chart. Yep, and that's it for the like update for Sol as well. Ave, I can try looking at Ave as well. Don't like the chart of Aave at all at the moment. I'm not sure what you're looking into it, but there's a lot of like sequential lower highs that I am seeing at the moment. I just don't prefer this chart at the moment, as there's some T-vapping going on here. The reason why I don't prefer is that the overall time frame is downtrend. There's a lot of sellers, but there is some T-vapping going right around here, so that could pretty much execute and like falsify any sort of sell momentum that we have. So there's something that you can actually look for and pretty much keep it as like a set alert chart. And then if you see some alerts going like the high breaking or the low breaking, we can come back to this chart. Do you use USDT.D in your analysis? Very sometimes, like very few times I use that USDT.D in my analysis. Kevin asked, and I don't use volume POC ever. I feel like POC depends on the exchange we're using. Instead of that, we can just look at price action. Any tips? The reason why I look at POC a lot of the times is that it just gives us a solidified version of where exactly the volume has traded the most. So that's a very important aspect and a component to look at in the chart. And why do you not ever use VWAP and only use volume profile? The only reason why I don't use VWAP a lot of the times is because VWAP is usually done and traded with like trendy moves. But I have like much more skill in trading microstructure and overall structure in trading trending moves. So I don't need to use a volume profile like tools when I'm trading a trend. And that's why I don't use VWAPs as much. I use a lot of volume profiles because in the volume profiles it's just range, and in ranges you have to have this volumetric levels because a lot of the times that's where rotations come in and go out from. I do use a lot of like previous values actually. It's just on the higher time frame. And even right now, I'm just talking about like the value area, like just on Sol, like I shared. We are talking about the prior value of a range. How about TPO? I do use a lot of TPO as well. That's where I get my POCs from actually. It's just something that I don't show a lot of the times because a lot of people don't get it or are very new to it. But I'll start to slowly incorporate it for the newer people and everybody that's interested in trading it. Yep, that's it for the update, guys. If again you have any sort of questions, where just let me know, and I really appreciate that everybody has joined, and I really appreciate your support. I am creating a lot of videos. I will be uploading free 15 free videos and like a free course on my YouTube very soon. I am still in the process of recording it, and it's also still in the process of like getting those edited, and yeah, I will definitely be uploading those. Thank you guys for this joining, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.